Welcome to Gang Hood Politics. In this episode, I'll be discussing the racial gang war between the Long Beach Crips and the Longos. The two biggest Crip gangs in Long Beach are the Insane Crips and the Rollin' 20 Crips. The Insanes are the largest African American gang located on the east side of Long Beach. The heart of their territory is on 21st Street in Lewis and spreads to surrounding blocks. The Rollin' 20 Crips are the second largest Black American gang on the east side of Long Beach. Their neighborhood is primarily south of 21st Street, east of Long Beach Boulevard, and west of Orange Ave. The Rollin' 20 Crips are known to sport their primary colors of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Rollin' 20 Crips are internationally known and the most popular gang in Long Beach due to the exposure in the media after being linked to platinum-selling rapper Snoop Dogg. The Insanes and the 20 Crips haven't always seen eye to eye, but they do share a common enemy, the Longos. Barrio Longo is the largest Mexican-American gang in Long Beach. Longo 13 is made up of three sets. The Eastside Longos, which is the largest of the three, with approximately 600 members. The name Longo is derived from the Long in Long Beach. The Longos are by far the biggest and most hated gang in the city of Long Beach. The Longos are widely known to be hostile toward African American and Asian Americans. On October 11th, 2011, at around 8 p.m., Antwan Johnson and Cecilia were walking home on Chestnut Street in Long Beach when Cecilia heard a male voice behind them ask, "Where you from?" When she and Antwan turned around, they saw three Latino men standing on either side of them. Cecilia then responded, "Oh, wait a minute, leave us alone. He's not in the gang." The three men then surrounded Antwan and started punching him. The scuffle quickly stopped. As the men walked away, one of them said, "We don't like Nick in our hood," with the hard R. "Stay the fuck out our hood." When Cecilia went to check on Antwan, she said he looked off balance. She heard someone yell out, "I think his shirt is wet." Cecilia lifted up his shirt and saw that he had been stabbed. Antwan ultimately died from the stab wound caused by the knife. A witness that worked at a Salvadorian restaurant on Anaheim Street told detectives she seen the three men the other day in her restaurant and loitering outside the restaurant. She was also able to identify one of the men by looking at a photo lineup. Detectives said around the area of the stabbing, there was a lot of Eastside Longo graffiti, including the words, "Fuck Nick," with the hard R. The main suspect's street name was Frost, and he was a member of the Longos gang. Frost, whose real last name was Para, was ultimately convicted of second-degree murder for the killing of Antwan Johnson. The following year, in July 2012, Samaje Harris, who was a member of the Rollin' 20 Crips, was walking to the liquor store when they were confronted by a group of Hispanic men. One of the men made reference to the Longos, pulled out a gun, and fired multiple shots. Some of the bullets struck and killed Samaje's friend AJ. A few weeks later, Samaje was shot in the groin. He told the police that he and a friend were approached by two members of the Longos. From that point forward, Samaje Harris was on a warpath. On the night of July 28, 2015, Antonio, Gabriella, and Gilbert were fixing a car in a parking lot in Long Beach. All three of them were Hispanic. Samaje, his baby mother, and his friend approached on foot. According to his baby mother, one of the Hispanics working on the car called them racial slurs and crabs. Samaje then asked them, "Where you from?" Antonio then responded, "I'm not from nowhere, but I know where I'm at." Samaje responded, "Fuck Mexicans, fuck Chongos, this Rollin' 20 Crip." Fearing for their safety, Gabriella, Antonio, and Gilbert got in the car and drove towards Gilbert's house. Samaje and his two friends got in a car and drove toward the direction of Antonio's car. Then, as Gilbert got out the car, Gabriella heard a loud bang. Gabriella arrived at Gilbert's house and parked Antonio's car on Washington Place. Gabriella looked behind her and saw Samaje standing outside the car holding a large gun. She heard two more shots and started driving away. The car followed her and the rear passenger said, "Fuck Chongos." As she sped away, she turned down the alley, made a right, and she lost Samaje. About a month later, on August 23rd, 2015, Samaje and Shanti's good friend Andre was murdered outside of a liquor store. When police arrived at the scene, Shanti was distraught and lying on top of Andre's body. Shanti told police he heard Longos murdered Andre. On August 24th, 2015, a day after Andre's murder, Robert H. and his friend Richard, who are both Hispanic, were sitting on an alley curb near 16th and Long Beach. A black Jeep with Samaje, Deontay, and Shanti entered the alley. Robert saw the Jeep moving fast in his direction. He tried to run, but the Jeep struck him, knocked him down to the ground, and then ran him over. Richard tried to jump out of the way, but the Jeep brushed his ankle. The Jeep drove to the end of the alley and then turned around, then started driving fast toward Robert. The Jeep side mirror struck Robert before driving away. Robert suffered a broken leg, fractured pelvis, injured foot, burns on his legs, scrapes, and bruises. He was hospitalized for 2 weeks. That same night, 17-year-old Isaac M. was riding his bicycle in Long Beach to meet up with his younger sister. Isaac came to a stop when a black Jeep, which had Samaje and Deontay inside, pulled up. They began yelling at Isaac, asking, "Where you from?" They pointed 4 guns out the window and fired more than 14 shots in Isaac's direction. Isaac was struck by bullets in his legs, hip, liver, kidneys, lungs, back, arm, and neck. The Jeep quickly drove away while its occupants cheered and laughed loudly. Isaac spent around 2 years in the hospital and underwent more than 19 surgeries in order to recover from his injuries. Shortly after midnight on September 16, 2015, Rodrigo, who was a member of the Eastside Longos, and his girlfriend Maria were standing outside of an apartment on Chestnut Street talking to a friend. A black Jeep approached near where they were standing. Samaje, Deontay, and Shanti were in the car. They then drove the Jeep to a nearby alley and shut off the headlights. Security footage showed a man fire a gun at Rodrigo and then run back to the Jeep. Maria hugged Rodrigo when she heard the first gunshot. Rodrigo shielded her body, then Maria heard several more gunshots. Rodrigo died from a gunshot wound to the chest. A few days later, after the Rodrigo killing, a Rolling 20s member, Anthony Holston, was murdered in a separate incident. Samaje told someone that the Longos were responsible. Shanti Webb ended up cooperating with detectives and told them that he, Deontay, and Samaje would get drunk and faded and ride around looking for Mexicans, and when they found one, they would hop out and shoot. He even snitched about crimes detectives weren't even investigating. About the time they all were driving back to Long Beach from Los Angeles, and they saw a random Hispanic man, and Samaje bounced out and shot him. Samaje, Deontay, and Shanti were all convicted of multiple gang-related murders. This is part 1 of the racial war between the Longos and the Crips. If you would like more, please make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching.